DiJonai, DiJonai, you're always in a dirty play. DiJonai, DiJonai, once again, here we are today. Oh, DiJonai, DiJonai.
She poked Caitlin Clark in the eye and walked away like nothing happened. But this time, DiJonai Carrington just got a front row seat to karma, and the whole WNBA world is cheering.
So guys, I think we've just seen the worst. And I mean, the worst call in the history of sport. I think we actually might have just seen the worst call in the entire history of sport. And like, this is a shock.
So before we go any further, if you believe in instant justice, go ahead and comment "Fire DiJonai" below, because what just happened in that Wings Valkyries game might be the most satisfying moment of the season. How did one of the league's most protected players suddenly get thrown under the bus by the very refs who used to shield her? Let's break it down.
DiJonai Carrington and flagrant fouls. How come every time I'm watching a flagrant foul, you're committing the foul? How come every time I'm watching a dirty play, you in the play? DiJonai, can we go a week without you flailing and going after somebody? Can we just go 1 week? That's all. Just 1 week, DiJonai.
For months, Carrington has been at the center of WNBA chaos. Elbows, eye pokes, technicals, taunts, you name it, she's done it. But somehow, she kept getting away with it.
DiJonai Carrington is fighting back against WNBA fans after footage and collages has been put out of her assaulting players, bro. Many fans in the league want DiJonai Carrington to get the hell out of Dodge. And I'm here to tell you, dog, that is definitely on the agenda from these fans because many people want her gone, dog.
No flagrant fouls, no suspensions, no fines. She literally jabbed Caitlin Clark in the eye on national television, and the league silent.
Harassed by Carrington, finds Boston. Clark gets hit in the face by Carrington and is down. Caitlin Clark is down.
So fans waited. They waited for accountability. They waited for justice. And when it never came, they gave up hoping the league would do anything and started hoping karma would. And in a wild twist of fate, it finally did.
So guys, I think we've just seen the worst. And I mean, the worst call in the history of sport. I think we actually might have just seen the worst call in the entire history of sport. And like, this is a shock that it is actually not DiJonai Carrington committing a flagrant foul. DiJonai Carrington got flagrantly fouled.
In the final minutes of a must-win game for the Dallas Wings, Janelle Saloon launched a long-range shot. It bricked, and the rebound came flying out of bounds. DiJonai Carrington sprinted toward it and made the smart play. Let it roll. No contact, just good basketball IQ. But out of nowhere, Tiffany Hayes came barreling in like a linebacker in full sprint and slammed into Carrington's back at full speed. The crowd gasped. Carrington went flying into the front row.
Which is DiJonai Carrington's number. The foul is called on Hayes, I believe. Now he's saying...
Was boxing out Tiffany Hayes. Hayes trying to reach over.
It looked like a no-brainer, clear foul on Hayes. Except the whistle blew on Carrington. Yes, the same DiJonai Carrington who didn't even move. The same one who just got plowed over while standing still. The refs called her for the foul.
So one referee points that it's Dallas ball. But do you know what another referee called? Do you know what another referee called? As you can see right here. Salon miss. Valkyrie's rebound. Apparently Tiffany Hayes got the rebound. And DiJonai fouled Tiffany Hayes. Apparently, Tiffany Hayes got the rebound and got fouled by jumping on DiJonai Carrington. Like, that might be, like, that is the worst call I've ever seen in basketball. That is actually the worst call I've ever seen in basketball. She just jumped through her. Like, she knew. Like, it is what it is. People shield People will shield or get in the way of the ball and stand there. She just jumped over the back. Worst case scenario, it's an over the back foul.
And that's when the real chaos began. Normally, fans would be outraged. Analysts would break down the play frame by frame. Social media would explode with calls for fairness. But not this time. Instead, people laughed. They cheered. They posted memes. One fan wrote, "That's not a foul. That's a lesson." Another, "Now she knows what Caitlin's been dealing with all year." No sympathy, no outrage, just satisfaction. And it wasn't just about one play. This was the same Carrington who once sent Skylar Diggins to the floor with a headshot.
For full stretches of games. Wins the tip. Diggins, who's still fast, gets down the floor, buries it, draws the foul.
The same player who crowded Gabby Williams' landing space so badly she twisted her ankle.
Elite players. Gabby Williams certainly one of them. She comes up limping, favoring her right leg is hurting. See here. Came down on DiJonai Carrington's foot and just rolled that ankle. That hurts. You hate to see that.
And yet, no accountability. So when the refs finally stopped protecting her, when they actually turned against her, it felt like the entire league exhaled, like justice had finally found its target. Even Valkyries fans, whose team benefited from the bad call, admitted it was outrageous. But nobody cared, because for once, DiJonai Carrington had to take what she usually dishes out. She got flattened, and no one came to help. Not the refs, not the crowd, not even her teammates. And the online reaction, brutal. Karma finally hit. This one's for Caitlin. She had it coming. Let's be clear, nobody's saying it's okay for refs to make bad calls. But when a player has spent an entire season building a villain arc, the league's version of a heel, it's hard to find sympathy when the tables turn. Especially when that player has spent months mocking fans who called her dirty. She even tweeted earlier this week, "Y'all swear I'm such a dirty player. I'm so over this narrative." But fans didn't forget. They remembered the eye poke, the flagrant elbows, the cheap shots, and more than anything, they remembered the silence from the league office every time it happened. So when Carrington got body checked into the sideline and still got called for a foul, it wasn't just satisfying. It felt necessary. Because it wasn't just about Carrington, it was about a broken system. A system that lets star players break rules. A system that punishes rookies like Caitlin Clark for reacting, while veterans like Carrington get a free pass for initiating. And on this night, for once, that system flipped. Carrington's team lost. Their playoff chances took a hit. And her reputation, it's officially toast. Because here's the truth. You can be aggressive. You can be competitive. You can even be physical. But once fans decide you're reckless, once they label you dirty, it's over. And when even your own fan base watches you get fouled and shrugs, that's not a reputation problem, that's an identity crisis. This wasn't just a foul, it was a message from fans, from players, from the basketball gods. The same way Caitlin Clark took a brutal eye poke and stayed silent, Carrington took a body blow and got buried by the court of public opinion. She built a brand on intimidation, but now the WNBA is turning against her. And if she thinks she can keep playing the villain without consequences, she better think again. Because the next time she pulls someone's hair or crowds a jump shooter's landing space, the refs might not just ignore it, they might punish it. DiJonai Carrington spent the season dodging justice, but last night, justice tackled her from behind. So if you're still watching, drop "Karma got her" in the comments. And if you believe it's time the WNBA started protecting players like Caitlin Clark, then scroll back up and comment "Fire DiJonai" with all caps. Let's make sure they hear us. Subscribe for more breakdowns and updates on everything going down in the WNBA, and we'll see you next time.
And it looked like there's a scene from yesterday's game that has went viral involving Caitlin Clark. Well, I'm here to tell you there's a scene that is raising concerns from fans, and pretty much people is demanding answers from none other than WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Let me pull up this picture right here, guys, because this one right here is crazy, bro. I mean, just crazy.
This wasn't just a foul. It wasn't just a missed call. This was a full-on shove by Ryan Howard, and the referees said nothing. No whistle, no warning, no justice.
So, the big way they were able to neutralize Caitlin Clark, and I think it was almost an issue with Stephanie White as much as anything, is they were manhandling her. They were manhandling Caitlin Clark early in that game. Like, they had two hands on her. They were fully getting into the we are grabbing her and we don't really care. Like, that was their goal. Their goal was they were out there to maul Caitlin Clark. They had they had absolutely no intention of doing anything other than mauling Caitlin Clark. Like, they were not out there to play legit defense. They were there to maul Caitlin Clark as much as they possibly could.
And now, thanks to a fan's phone camera, the world finally sees what the WNBA tried to ignore. Caitlin Clark was slammed to the ground, and no one protected her.
And this picture that I just came across, I'm like, what are we doing? Kathy Engelbert, she came out. It ain't been that long ago, like 2 weeks ago. Refereeing's pretty good in this league. In what league? What league allows this? Can you tell me what kind of a move that Ryan Howard's doing here to Caitlin Clark? What is that move? Michael. A lot of us follow Michael. How the F is someone supposed to score when this is what is being allowed to happen to Caitlin Clark on the regular? How the F is this defense? Is this the WNBA or NFL?
Ryan Howard didn't just push her once. She kept her pinned down like a bodyguard. And the ref just stood there, watching. It was like they were calling a completely different sport. This is the moment that has fans everywhere demanding answers, even from WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert herself. Because this isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a disturbing pattern that's now impossible to ignore.
Caitlin Clark gets pushed around, thrown to the floor during games, and teammates are standing there just looking, not doing anything. Sophie Cunningham will do something. While other players get a microphone put in front of them, doing their media interviews, while they regurgitate the same nonsense, the same word salad that Stephanie White lies says, Sophie Cunningham will say, no.
The Chicago Sky alone are responsible for 80% of the flagrant fouls committed against Caitlin Clark this season. Let that sink in. 4 out of 5 flagrant hits came from the same team, and league-wide.
If everyone can stop the pearl clutching for just a minute, and I say that as a turn of phrase, not because it's women's basketball, you'd realize this is the best thing imaginable for this league. And listen, I said this back when Caitlin was at Iowa, and everyone was, I thought, being overly protective of her, and I thought a lot of that had to do with like, oh, this little white girl in a black sport. And I was like, man, she is a badass and a trash talker and gives it as good as she gets it. And she is an object of scorn for good reason. She's awesome. She's swaggery. She does turn your home crowd into a road crowd. She is a frustrating player to guard all of it.
17% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA have been against this one player. 17%. That means nearly 1 in 5 of the most dangerous, unsportsmanlike plays in the entire league have been aimed at Caitlin Clark.
I don't know if you know this or not. You probably do, knowing you, because you don't miss much. Caitlin Clark has personally received 17% of the flagrant fouls called. Literally, she's been fouled on flagrant fouls. 17% of them have been against her personally. We spoke about the Cheryl Swoop situation. We've spoke about the numbers, the ratings. We've spoken about the resentment that Caitlin Clark has been receiving, not by most, not by all, but by, to be quite honest, too many. If you had your druthers moving forward, looking at the rest of this WNBA season, looking at the state of women's basketball moving forward, what's your wish and what needs to happen in order for your wish to be achieved and fulfilled? Last word is yours.
She's been shoved, elbowed, grabbed from behind, and still, the whistle barely comes. When it does, it's usually after the game, upgraded later when it no longer matters. They're not stopping the hits. They're just quietly cleaning up the evidence. And this game, it gave us the clearest proof yet. Fan footage showed Clark on her knees, mid-pass, with a defender hovering over her back. You could see it in her face. The exhaustion, the frustration, the fight to stay composed. She didn't even look for the referee. She already knew what would happen. Nothing. The referees aren't just missing calls, they're sending a message. Caitlin Clark is fair game. And yet, despite all of it, Clark continues to rise.
Look at this. So, this was the scene, and this is the picture right here that has went viral. Yeah, this is the storybook of Caitlin Clark's season, bro. That's just all I can say. Look at this. Somebody said this shot from the Fever versus the Fever versus Dream game. Look at Caitlin's face as she passes the ball. She's literally on her knees. Somebody's hovering over her back. Somebody said it's 1 in 15 missed foul calls. This is ridiculous. And this right here shows you that the WNBA referees has a hidden agenda against Caitlin, bro.
In that same game where she was mauled, shoved, and ignored by officials, the Fever won by 17 points. They scored 59 in the second half, their best in 7 years. And Clark, she led the way with 12 points, 9 assists, and complete control of the offense. She didn't respond with trash talk. She didn't flop. She simply adjusted her jersey and played the game at a level most can't reach. That's what makes this even more frustrating for fans. The league has a generational star, the player responsible for selling out arenas, breaking attendance records, and lifting the entire sport. And yet, they're letting her get targeted like she's a rookie with no name. Stephanie White, the Fever's head coach, finally said what everyone else has been thinking. She called the officiating egregious and said the disrespect toward Clark is unbelievable. She's tired of watching refs act like they're calling a different game altogether. Even veterans like Sophie Cunningham have had enough. She was ejected this season for defending Clark and later spoke out about the league's failure to protect its biggest star. While other players regurgitate media-safe answers, Sophie calls it what it is: bias. A season-long pattern of negligence. But here's the truth that really stings. Caitlin Clark herself knows what's happening, and she's not hiding from it. In a recent interview, she said it straight. "I think everybody is physical with me. They get away with things that probably other people don't get away with." That's not an opinion. That's lived reality, and it's happening in front of millions. So why aren't the refs doing anything? Some say it's jealousy. Some say it's punishment, an effort to humble the star who brought too much fame too fast. Others think it's cowardice, that officials are scared to call fouls on players targeting the most visible name in the game. But here's the real reason it's dangerous: because it's working. Clark is being hacked off the ball, grabbed from behind, body checked like she's trying out for the NFL.
Wait a minute, you can't do this. You can't do this to us. I got to, and I didn't think I would ever be doing it. The worst referees in sports are WNBA refs. There's NFL fans right now going, bleep? What? Did you see the refs chilling for the Chiefs again last year? And look, the referees in the NFL are god-awful, all right? But at least at times it doesn't seem like they're turning a blind eye to potential injury, for crying out loud.
And in the meantime, defenders like Jordan Canada are getting away with murder on the other end, dropping 30 points while draped all over Clark all night. You can't run an offense if you can't move. You can't create highlight plays if your teammates are too scared to stand up for you. And yet, Clark just keeps going. She leads the league in assists. She's broken the rookie scoring record. She dropped a triple-double. She's set the single-game assist record. She's hit more three-pointers than any rookie in history. She's doing it all while getting physically punished every single night. She's rewriting WNBA history with bruises on her back. That's what fans are so angry about. The WNBA wants her star power. They want her sponsorships. They want her to be the face of women's sports, but they won't lift a finger when she's getting shoved to the hardwood. And make no mistake, the fans are watching. It was a fan who caught the Ryan Howard shove, a fan who posted it online, a fan who made it go viral. And now it's a fan-driven movement forcing the WNBA to confront its own failures. The referees didn't protect Clark, the coaches didn't speak up, the players mostly stayed silent. But the fans, they're done. They've seen the footage. They've posted the screenshots. They've counted the fouls. They've tracked the stats. And now they're demanding more. Because if this keeps going, if Clark gets seriously injured, it won't just be a foul the league ignored. It'll be a legacy they destroyed. So what happens next? Will the WNBA finally step in? Will referees be held accountable? Will coaches stop turning a blind eye? Or will the fans have to keep exposing the truth, one clip at a time? Because one thing's for sure, you can shove Caitlin Clark, you can hack her, you can try to silence her, but you cannot stop her. And every time you try, she just gets stronger.
You know, things come. I feel like the attention and, you know, whatever that is, I don't want to say I get used to it, but to an extent, like you do. And you just accept that's how it's going to be. People are going to criticize you. People are going to praise you, no matter what it is. When you're playing on this level and you have this type of spotlight, whether it's me, whether it's any professional athlete that's at the top of their game, that's just how it's going to be. So
she walked into TD Garden like it was personal, because it was. The last time Caitlin Clark faced the Connecticut Sun, they didn't just play hard, they targeted her. An eye poke from JC Sheldon, a body check from Marina Mabry.
Eye poke. Owie.
That's what Clark didn't like. When Mabry came in with a bump.
But let me say this, time out.
But this time, Caitlin Clark didn't just respond. She made WNBA history. 3 records broken, 1 brutal message.
I think you just continue to build on what you want to get better at. And I think that's probably the greatest challenge at times is, you know, everybody else has expectations of you, but at the end of the day, like, there's no higher expectation than what I have of myself.
And in the final 5 minutes, she outscored the entire team. This wasn't just a game, this was war. Let's rewind. June 17th.
Tonight, the Fever welcome in the Connecticut Sun with Commissioner's Cup title hopes on the line.
Feeling good. Big one for us after a good win. Got to come out and play with a lot of energy again. Should be a great crowd, so it's going to be fun.
Caitlin Clark faces the Connecticut Sun. It should have been a regular game. Instead, it turns ugly. JC Sheldon swipes Clark in the eye. Marina Mabry follows up with a hard body check. And the refs, they let it happen.
What really got this escalated is that was called a flagrant. Those 2 were technicals. Charles got a technical, and then Mabry for what we thought should have been
technical fouls, but no ejections. Clark didn't fight back. She took it, but she never forgot. So when Indiana walked into TD Garden for the rematch, Clark wasn't just there to play. She came for revenge. And this time, she had backup. TD Garden might be home to the Celtics, but on this night, it belonged to Fever fans. Over 19,000 packed the building, and they made sure the Connecticut Sun felt it. This wasn't just another game, it was a hostile takeover, and the Fever were ready. Sophie Cunningham stepped into her enforcer role.
Ari McDonald. What a pickup she has been. Came in as a injury replacement player. There's Sophie Cunningham.
Kelsey Mitchell lit it up with 20 points.
On the rookie out of France. And didn't take long for Indiana to strike back.
It had not even a shot at getting back and getting in front of her in transition. And how about taking the contact?
Natasha Howard dominated inside with 18 points and 13 rebounds.
High hedge on the ball screen on Clark.
Inside perfectly.
One thing you know about Tina Charles, she has every shot in her arsenal.
Now Sheldon, the height disadvantage against Howard.
Yeah, good recognition.
Even Aaliyah Boston, despite a tough shooting night, made her presence felt with rebounds and crisp passes.
Another pass inside. Good job by Mitchell to gather.
Back to that facilitation of Leah Boston right here. She is reading the cutters, fakes the handoff, and good read by Kelsey Mitchell.
But all of it started with Clark. She ran the floor like a general, behind the back passes. No look dishes, total control.
Clark off glass.
Good hezzy by Clark. She froze the defense. 0.5 basketball, keeping the ball moving in 0.5 seconds.
And while fans were focused on the game, Clark was quietly chasing history. Her shooting? Rough. 4 of 14 from the field, just 1 of 7 from deep. But her impact? Unmatched.
Play against her and learn from her.
Passing the torch to some of the great young talent. That is the first points for Caitlin Clark in the second half.
Right here, Clark comes off of the screen and just eyes the bucket, but I like the pull-up.
She broke 3 WNBA records in one night. First, she became the fastest player in league history to reach 450 assists. She did it in just 53 games. The previous record, 62. She beat it by 9 full games. Second, she became the fastest to hit 150 three-pointers. Faster than anyone, ever. And third, she extended her streak to 40 straight games with 5 or more assists. That's the longest streak the league has ever seen. That's not luck. That's greatness.
Caitlin Clark scored 32 points and assisted on 22 more Saturday, marking her 9th career game with 50 points scored or assisted on, already the second most in WNBA history.
Stop playing with this girl. She only played 45 games and she's 1 away from tying the WNBA record. This is her 2nd season. Now, I don't like the fact that she be getting woke because she don't want all these. You get a girl who kind of cute. She's still feminine. She's not black. She got a great attitude. You don't got to be ghetto and flashy and doing all that. She's everything that they said that you could not be in order to be successful. Her return game peaked at 2.8 million viewers on ABC, one of the highest ever. The Fever's franchise value jumped from 900 million to 340 million. Oh my God. If somebody say they need to get paid like the men, Caitlin Clark need to get paid like the men.
But what happened in the final 5 minutes? That was different. That's where Clark flipped the switch. With the Fever clinging to a small lead, she exploded, drive, dish, score. And by the end, she had outscored the entire Connecticut Sun by herself. In the final 5 minutes, they tried to stop her. They couldn't. No trash talk, no fouls, just dominance. Caitlin Clark didn't need to say anything. The scoreboard did the talking. But just when it seemed perfect, everything changed. Less than a minute on the clock. Clark made a sharp pass to Mitchell, then she grabbed her right leg, the same leg that's been bothering her.
Because I just finished watching the Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun game, and I swear every time these two teams go up against one another, something happens, and it's honestly never good. It's never good, and of course the biggest story of the night is the story that Caitlin Clark seems to have re-injured her groin. So I'm just going to show you guys the clip. So as you guys can see here, she is dribbling down, she plants her foot, she passes the ball to Kelsey Mitchell on the back door, and then when she is running back on the other end of the court, it seems like she's grabbing her groin area. Now it also seems like she's grabbing her right groin area, and her last groin injury was supposedly on the left side.
The groin injury. She walked to the bench slowly. No celebration, no smile. She buried her face in a towel. And the camera caught the tears. Caitlin Clark was in pain, not just physically, emotionally, because just days from now, All-Star Weekend is coming. In Indiana, she's the team captain. She's in the three-point contest. She's the star of the weekend. Or at least she was supposed to be. Now everything is uncertain. Coach Stephanie White said she felt something in her groin. We'll get it evaluated. That's all we know.
No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
And that's not enough. Without Clark, the Fever lose more than a player. They lose their identity. And the league loses its biggest draw, right when it needs her the most. 3 records, 1 win, 1 injury. That's the roller coaster of pro sports. If you support Caitlin Clark, drop a comment wishing her a full recovery. Like this video. Subscribe for more deep dives like this. Because one thing is clear, her story, it's just getting started.